What is going on, all you spies? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed. This is Reviewed number 65, and today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Fantastic Four from 2005. Okay, so Fantastic Four. I loved it. I honestly did. It was at the time it was one of the well, it didn't do too well on Rotten Tomatoes, and I look at the ratings on movies and I see how they are with people liking them. And this movie, it was really good. I haven't read the comics. I never have. Probably never will because, well, it's a bit kind of loose. But I eventually will go around to reading the comic books. But having seen what they look like and then looking at the movie characters, they look good. I mean, they look really good. The costumes look really accurate. They do. They really look like they came from the comic book. The design of the costumes, the blue outfits with the four emblem on each of them. That's really awesome. And the casting was pretty good too. I like the casting. This movie, I've only seen it a couple of times, but it's still really fun to watch. It's a really fun superhero movie. It's around the time when X-Men and Spider-Man came out. It actually came out a year before X-Men 3 came out. It came out a year after Spider-Man 2 came out, and it came out a year after X-Men 3 came out. So it was around the time where superhero movies were already a thing, and it's still like a really fun movie to watch. It's the most comic accurate incarnation of this team, because I've never actually seen the team until this time. And it had some really good casting ones that people remember, like Ian, I think it's Ian. I can't remember. Ian. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think he's Welsh. So Ian Griffin, he plays Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. We have the beautiful Jessica Alba, who plays Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman. You got Michael Cheklis, I think his name is, who plays Ben Grimm, the Thing. Yeah, the Thing. And then you have Chris Evans, who also played Captain America in later movies, starting with Captain America: The First Avenger, and then throughout the Marvel Universe of Marvel Studios. And this is before he became Captain America. He played the Human Torch. He played Johnny Storm, Human Torch. And then I have Doctor Doom, which is one of the most popular, or at least the most important / most popular comic book character in the Marvel Universe. I think people were bashing on this movie because they didn't get Doctor Doom right. Honestly, from what I've seen from the images of what Doctor Doom looks like, it looks pretty accurate. You got the mask, you got the hood, you got the. Well, I don't really call him. He doesn't have a cape, because in the comics I think he has a cape, but he doesn't have the. He just has a outfit. He doesn't really wear anything much, but he does have the little like two circle thingies, brass circle things, as we call on his thing. So it kind of it kind of shows you that he's Doctor Doom. He has powers. This movie, it was actually an origin story of how they became who they are. Most movies nowadays, not much of an origin story. Well, sometimes, like Spider-Man's not really getting an origin story because we already seen him. But this movie, it had some really good effects. I like the effects. You know, Chris Evans does a really good job. Because I actually, it was really funny about this movie is the fact that later, I think it was 2013, I want to say, or no, I don't remember when it came. I think it might have been 2013 or 2014. I think 2013. Look at Marvel Superheroes came out. There's actually a joke in the movie, or the game, that was it called back to both the Fantastic Four movies from that starred Chris Evans and the Captain America movies, and it had to do with like haven't I seen your face before, and it was the fact that since Chris Evans played both Human Torch and Captain America in Marvel Universe in two different studios, of course, but it was still a character from the Marvel Universe, and it was really fun because like I think it was shortly after that this game came out, the new reboot came out, which totally trashed. I hate that. I never saw it, and from trailers I hated it. It looked terrible, and it did bomb. It did bomb, which is not surprising. Um, but with this movie, it was a really funny little joke in the game where they take a little joke from the Chris Evans Captain America, Chris Evans Human Torch and the Captain America he does, which is really it was a really fun little joke, but it's still really cool because this movie was fun. It was a good movie. I think some of the complaints people have were like they didn't get the thing right, like he wasn't big enough and he doesn't look like he is supposed to look in the comics, and he looks fine. Actually, I think there was actually a joke. There was a in the movie when Johnny actually shows Ben the action figure. If you look closely, it looks like the thing from the comics, and also from that canceled 90s movie that they made. I think I don't think it ever came out, but I think I finished it. I think you can still watch it. But it was a little thing because I did see a cover where they had the Fantastic Four characters and the thing who looks like almost exactly like that. It was really fun. But yeah, no, I like the movie. Honestly, it had some really good characters in it. They nailed Doctor Doom pretty well from what I've seen in the comics. They got all the powers right. It was like an origin story, and then some of the it was really fun to watch. Honestly, I all the movies out there, they're getting old, but like this one, it was really nice for a 2005 movie. It was really fun, and they finally got a sequel off the air in 2007. I'll be reviewing that next week. But this movie had some really. It was a good movie. I liked it. I mean, some people hated it, but I loved it. It was better than the reboot by far. I liked the chemistry between Ioan Griffin's Reed Richards and Nezugaba's Storm. I think that was the one thing that really people hated was the fact that they didn't make it look right. Like I can see it was the most comic accurate movie I've seen from a comic book movie in my life. I've never seen a movie like this. I know they had a comic book movie besides Spider-Man that actually gets the costumes right. This is a really good attempt. It was a good attempt. It actually worked, at least in my opinion. They got Susan Storm right. I think people thought the Susan Storm was they didn't get it right. She looks nothing like the comics. She looks fine. I mean, the actress is gorgeous as she is, but they did a really good job with making her powers what they are in the comics. At least I think they are. I haven't read the comics, but I did research on what they are, and I know the idea. And I think the one character that they got right, like completely right, was Mr. Fantastic, because in the comics he is a scientist, and also he has a little gray hair when he gets the powers, and that's actually part of the comic books, I'm pretty sure. And they didn't do that in the reboot. I'm not even going to talk about the reboot. Why would I talk about that? It's a terrible movie. But I liked it. The action scenes were really well done. Actually, one really important thing that was that happened in the movie was one of the best Stanley cameos I've ever seen in a Marvel Universe movie. Not Marvel Studios, but Marvel Universe. Because this came out before the Marvel Cinematic Universe was even a thing. Before the first Iron Man came out, this was the first movie that happened. I mean, at least in the first, this is the first like half a decade of superhero movies that came out. They did a really good job with it. And with this scene, particular scene that I'm talking about, Stan Lee, who is one of the Legends of Marvel, who I actually met. Well, I didn't meet him, but I got to see him, and I was in the same room as him, and I was like a foot from him, so I got to like see him, and I got his autograph. It was amazing. But aside from that, I noticed this cameo was really important because most cameos that he does are just like quick cameos where he's his own self. But no, in this movie, he actually created the character from the movie. Willie Lipkin, I think his name is. He's basically the mail carrier for the Baxter Building, which was really cool because usually Stan Lee is like the guy who does the cameos where he's himself, but no, he did himself. He did a character that he created for the movie. It was really cool. But like when they first got their power, it was really cool because the idea is that they get their powers from cosmic radiation in space. They go to the space mission. I can't remember exactly for it. They're like trying to like check the planetary the planet something of the planets or something. They're trying to figure out. They're trying to examine it. And they're doing on an expedition to space, and they get into this space station, and things go crazy, and the comic this I think the sun causes them to get powers. Like you have Mr. Fantastic who can stretch himself, of course. He can stretch any part of his body, and you have the Invisible Woman, whose power is to turn invisible and also use force fields, which is really cool. And then you have the Human Torch, who can fly and iron flip on fire and be awesome like that. You can use a Human Torch. And then Ben Grimm, who was also known as the Thing, he basically this rock monster, which is really cool. I mean, kind of depressing about the movie was the fact that like his wife left him because he was like a monster. I mean, he is a monster, but like he's one of the best monsters possible. He's basically the equivalent of the Hulk, I want to say, because he has the same powers, I guess. I mean, he's big-ish sort of, but he also has really strong, and people just called him the Thing. I don't know what Stanley was thinking when he titled him the Thing. I mean, couldn't he just call him Rockman? I mean, seriously, like Rockman. That would have been actually a really cool name. Instead of Ben Grimm, the Thing would be Ben Grimm Rockman. But nevertheless, it was still fun to see the movie, and it had some really good. I just loved the movie. It was really fun. I liked it a lot. It was enjoyable. I liked the special effects. I liked the creation of Doctor Doom, because he actually in the comics, he has this. I think it's this green outfit with a metal mask, and then like two little like I said before, two little circle thingies. I don't know what those are for. And then able to shoot electricity from his hands or something like that. I think that's the idea. And they got him right. I think they got him really, really good. Some people have better, experience from watching the movie, and it only had 27%, which is actually not that good. Better than the Fantastic Four reboot that happened, which I don't know. I'm bringing it up because I want to talk about the rating, and that was the lowest. It was like, I think it was like less than 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think maybe 11%, something like that. I think it might have been 7. I don't know, but it was something like that, where it was one of the worst movies ever of the year. And this movie, it was, at the time, the technology they had, they did a really good job with it. They got all the characters right. They did a really good job with it. Jessica Alba is really, she's an amazing actress. I mean, not only is she hot, but also she's amazing, and she does a really good job with the character of Invisible Woman, because there's a scene where Invisible Woman's actually, where Suki is actually for the first time discovering that she has powers. And I don't sort of know that they have powers. I think it's like a disease or something. Like, Johnny Storm is like making everything awesome, and he designed animated as the Four, which is important because that isn't a thing in the reboot. Because apparently on the trailers and the posters, they even have Fours on them, and this is the most comic accurate uniforms ever. They did a really, really good job with it. I was impressed by it, because I haven't seen this movie in like about a year or so. It was really awesome, because they did a really amazing job with the powers. They really showed off how, the power. I think the one thing that I really thought was a little gross, and actually Johnny Storm thinks it's gross too, is when they first discovering that they first try to help Ben, because he's currently transforming into the Thing, and basically Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, he's like, I have hands, they can stretch. What should I do? I should do something about this. I can probably get the lock. And he goes into the door, and then the really weird is the CGI animation basically makes the thing go like this, and it like the slump of skin just goes whoop, and then it's like suddenly he's like under that. I mean they have to use CGI. What else can they do? I mean, seriously, the CGI is a really good thing to have. And also they use green screen, but CGI is one of the most important things to have. One of the more important elements to have in making a movie, especially a superhero movie, because you have to have CGI, especially for like characters like the Hulk, or actually I think it was actually pretty practical, because the Thing was actually practical. I'm pretty sure. How that did with Ben Grimm is Thing they got him. It was all prosthetics for Michael Clifkus or something like that. I can't remember his name. very complicated name. But yeah, no, it was fun to see that movie. The effects of especially it was interesting because there was a scene where you have Johnny Storm going after Reed Richards, who's with Doctor Doom, and we see not in his costume. Excuse me. He's not in his costume, and then you see him, dive down and go flame on, and then you have him, which is actually a really cool thing because they did a good job with the catchphrase, because in the comics, I'm pretty sure, I haven't read them, but from what I know, and this is based off research. From what I know, there's catchphrases that the Fantastic Four share or have, not sure have. I believe Things is it's Clobbering Time, and then you have Human Torch is Flame On. That's his catchphrase. But there's this really fun scene where he's not wearing his costume. He's just wearing a shirt and he's wearing like a two shirts. He's wearing a t-shirt, and then he's wearing a little button-down shirt, like kind of like a skew. By that I mean like he's like it's not closed up. And he does the thing. He flames on, but you can see when he's flaming on, but his costume is there. So maybe he was wearing his uniform under. I mean, I was thinking he was wearing his uniform under his costume, but what else could there be? But no, it was fun. It was actually some really interesting ideas for the movie. For the first time they did a Fantastic Four movie, it was actually really fun to watch. It was actually one of the because they trying to like reverse their effects. Like I mean, all of them were reverse effects of a power. Like, what would you want to live? I mean, the only character that was miserable as he was the Thing, but Ben Grimm, he didn't like being who he was because his wife left him, basically because his wife didn't like the fact that he was a monster, and so he leaves him, and he wants to reverse the effects, and basically Reader just gets all the work to do that, and they basically, and then Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom, basically helps him and becomes Ben Grimm again, and then basically that happens where he's like he chooses to become the Thing again. Because he's like, I can't live like this, but then he realizes that he has to save Reed. He has to work together with the rest of the team to save Reed, and he doesn't have his powers. He doesn't have his strength power, so he has to get back in the machine to become the Thing again. And they gotta fuck him out. And then actually he gets his trademark pants from the comics. Yeah, it was really fun to see all, and then the final battle between Doom and Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four was so cool because you have all of them fighting, help working together. You have Thing was just all amazing. I mean, I think my favorite character from the Fantastic Four has got to be Mr. Fantastic. I mean, who doesn't like this? The ability to distract. Who wanted that ability? I certainly would. But it was really fun, and Sue Storm did a good. Every actor did a good job with their performances, their characters. It was really good. I mean, it didn't get as much praise as it should have gotten, because I mean, people are thinking like this is a really bad movie. It was not. It was really good. I mean, seriously, there was nothing wrong with it. I mean, yeah, maybe the effects were a bit cheap, but they did for a 2005 movie. It was really good. The first genuine superhero movie that was actually the most accurate from the comics. Spider-Man was also accurate, but like Spider-Man Homecoming, that's the most accurate of the entire comics, is the Red Wings. But this movie, it was so accurate. You have like, I think the most accuracy you can get is Reed Richards' little gray hair from it that he gets. That was really something that you should be proud of. I mean, it was a really fun movie. I really liked it. I mean, the only cons, I don't really know the cons. There was not really any cons. I mean, I think the only con maybe was the fact that they got Doctor Doom a little. They didn't get him completely 100% right. I think they missed a few of the costume stuff, but I didn't have any problem with the movie. It was a fun movie. It was amazing. It was awesome. It was so fun to watch. 'Cause I love superhero movies. I'm a big superhero movie fan, and they did a really good job with the movie itself. It was so awesome. There's really not a lot about the Fantastic Four movie. I mean, come on, it was not that bad. It was amazing. Like, seriously, they did a good job. And I mean, as bad as it was, it wasn't that bad. It was really good. I mean, better than most movies. It got a sequel. I mean, seriously, a movie that has 27% on Rotten Tomatoes can get a sequel. I mean, seriously, you can't get better than that. A sequel to a movie that gets less than 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is considerably bad for a movie from a movie based on a comic book. I mean, come on, you gotta give it credit where credit's due. I mean, seriously. But yeah, no, the actors were really good. It's like, oh, the acting was bad. No, I I can't really tell about acting. I like the powers, the effects of the powers, all the bunch. I think the favorite characters, like I said before, obviously Mr. Fantastic because he can stretch himself. That's so cool. Um, and then having his wife with him, and of course this this African American woman basically takes him for her own because she accepts him. Alicia Masters. She's apparently from the comics. Yeah, a lot of the characters I never really know because I don't really read the comics, but it was really, really good. Like, seriously, my favorite superhero movie from the 2000s. And X-Men was fun. Spider-Man is always been my favorite, but this movie was really good. Enough to get a sequel, and I love the sequel too. But I'll do that next week. So yeah, that's all I can say about the movie. Awesome, fantastic, obviously, epic, so cool to see. Actually, it was really interesting about the movie because I looked up this after I saw the credits, and apparently there's a character that's played by a actress and actually the host of First Look, Regal First Look, Marina Menounos, who I don't really know where she just pops up in the First Look. If you get the movie theaters early, you can see that Regal First Look, and she's the host of it. Of course, I don't know how long she's been doing First Look, but she's been doing that. Marina Menounos has been hosting the First Look for Regal, and she was in this movie as the hot nurse, basically. The nurse that the Chris Evans is trying to basically tries to hit on because in this movie he's like ladies man. I don't know if that's actually accurate with the comic or not, but it was really fun to watch to see him become a ladies man because he's like the ladies man of the crew. He's really fun. And I love the fact I like the fact that that the Thing is all jealous of or mad at Johnny because of course he's a dick, but you can't not love those movies. But anyway, I think I've ran on a bit too long here. I think long enough. But overall, it was awesome, simply awesome, and they did a really good job. It was the most comic accurate superhero movie of the 2000s. It was really good. So overall, I would rate it a 10 out of 10. Had no problems at all. It was fantastic. Hence why I review it. But yeah, no. Hands down awesome. It was a really good movie for 2005. So that does it for this review. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I really appreciate it that you watching my reviews because they're awesome. I love doing this for you. I love I like talking to you. I guess sort of. It's my way of communicating with my audience and picking a movie that I like. Again, if you want to suggest movies, go ahead. I would totally love it. But on my own, when I'm not getting that, I just do my own reviews. And I love them. I love doing reviews. This is my life. But anyway, again, thank you for watching. Make sure to give this episode a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well as my second channel, Ultimate Gaming, where I do gameplay videos there. Make sure to subscribe to that if you don't know what's happening to my gameplay videos. They're all over there. I have a whole channel that you can watch where I have all my gameplay videos like Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, all that stuff. Coaster series, everything. Just go there, subscribe to that, and then make sure to click that notification button in the top right or the next to the subscribe button so you don't miss anything at all, because that'd be awesome. I don't want to miss anything. And also make sure to click here to go to last week's episode, in case you missed that one. I think it was Gods of Egypt, and then here is my review of About Time with My Mom, which is really good because we both like the movie. So anyway, again, thank you for watching, and I will be back next time for my review of Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, which is the sequel that came out in 2007. Everyone comes back. All right, see ya.